Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV live on YouTube and Periscope, aka Twitter. As always, my name is John, your host, and I hope you're all doing well as I always do under these very difficult circumstances. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It's nice to see you. We're at episode 45 of the daily live chat with John, basically me, where I talk to you and you guys talk to me about anything you want. Ask me any questions. We talk about things. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting to have a conversation with you guys, as it always is. So I'm looking forward to it. As I say, episode 45. I don't know where the time's going. It doesn't feel like we've been doing it for that long, but it's superb. It really is good. It's been but it's been fun. We've had some good conversations. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Most of it football, some of it West Ham. But as always, let's have a look to see who's in the live chat. So Rick, hello mate. Hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm sure everyone else is as well. Good evening, Chris. Good evening, Nick. Good evening, J Jazz. Good evening, Mark. Welcome back, mate. It's been a while. My work's been mega busy. Hope you're well. Yeah, we're all within reason, sunshine. Within reason. Andy, hello, guys. Good evening. Chris, JP, you know you said Ngakia is not wanting the money and isn't going to leave. Moyes literally said he does. I never said he wouldn't leave. I never said he wouldn't leave. I said he said he wants to stay. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to leave. There's two totally different things. Which we are going to be coming on to in a little while. Chris, hello mate. Hope you're doing all right. As well, even though I've just read out your comment before you said, because yeah, but that's good. But yeah, we'll start with that. We'll start with what Chris is talking about. I wasn't going to talk about it first and foremost, but as he made the comment about it, there's no problem with it whatsoever. Let's talk about it. Gio's in. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Good evening, Mark. That's good. But yeah, so David Moyes is released about Ngakia. Right, so let's read the what he actually said to the Evening Standard. So where it goes, it says, we are really surprised and disappointed that Jeremy is not going to be staying at West Ham. We like him a lot. We've given him his debut, and I'm a manager who has done that many times in my career, including Wayne Rooney, Ross Barkley, Jordan Pickford, and others. Jeremy is another one, and I feel he is making a mistake choosing not to stay with us. We've trusted him in big games, and everyone likes him at the club. I also feel it's the kick in the teeth for the academy because they have developed a player for the first team and he's not going to stay. We're also really disappointed with his decision not to stay beyond June 30th. Can't disagree with any of that whatsoever. So I don't agree with that. And I also think that it's something that the Premier League should not allow to happen because it means the season is not starting and finishing in the same way. Well, it isn't because we're not there anyway, but I know what he means. There's nothing we can do about it though, and we are still working with him. As I said previously, we've all said that they're still trying to get him on board. As he says, we like him. We want him to feel he's been given the best service we can give, and maybe there's still a little hope that he can change his mind. But we haven't given up on the hope of Jeremy realizing he's got it wrong. But I have to say, he has told me directly that it is not his choice to stay. So, Chris, that backs up exactly what I've said. That the fact they said it's not his choice to stay. So it's clear. It's clear from that he wants to stay, but his agents told him not to, because otherwise he would have told Moyes, "Yeah, it is my decision to stay." So he can say because he wants. It sounds like it's just, but he's putting it into the hands of somebody else. But as I say, from my point of view, as I've mentioned all along, if they're not willing to meet to his terms, then fine, let him go. If it's you know, he's had a handful of games. Yes, he's a hot prospect, as we've talked about many times before. It's interesting seeing it from Moyes' point of view, which, to be honest, isn't that much of a shock. He hasn't really. I read this earlier, but he hasn't said anything that you know is basically is basically just his decision at the end of the day that he looks like he wants to stay on, but he's being told to move elsewhere. We've seen that time and time again, and therefore, you know, it's if the club are doing all they can, and and him and his agents and his family and everything else are saying move on, then we've got no choice but to let him go. It's as simple as that. Gio says, completely understand why he won't stay. To be honest, he's paid 150 quid a week and will risk injury. Yeah, at the end of the day, like if they're saying that if they're not giving him his terms, fair enough. I'll come on to Chris's other bit in a minute. Chris says, John, his not to stay is sort of opposite. Watch Gonzo's video. I will do. I watch it, but that's a direct quote from Moyes. I'm not going to contradict what Gonzo said. Gio says, depends how you read it. Exactly. I don't read it like that. I read it like that he's put his demands in, the club aren't meeting them, so it's the club's decision. Well, yeah, everything's open to interpretation, mate. You're absolutely right on that. But as I say, that's the cold and not his decision to stay. So yeah, it's to say it sounds like it's going to be like what everyone's talking about. It sounds like it's going to be the best of both worlds. The best for both parties, maybe. Because maybe they're doing all they can, and he's saying no, that's not good enough. No, that's not good enough. Or it could be the fact is the clubs are saying no, you're asking for too much. It's either way. I'm not sitting on the fence on this, but as I've said beforehand, if he goes, he goes. I agree with what Moyes has said. It is a massive kick in the teeth because that's exactly what the academy is set up to do. They are literally there to bring in players for the first team. Rice, Tompkins, Collinson, Freddie Sears, technically, blah blah. That Joe Cole, technically as well, for that matter. Rio Ferdinand, etc., etc. That's exactly what everything's supposed to be doing. But if the two of them can't find a mutual ground, then there's only one thing to do. It's sad. And Gio, you're absolutely right. When in your video you said earlier today about it being it will be difficult for Fredericks, and we'll have to buy a right back in the summer. Agreed, 100%, completely agree with that. Because at the end of the day, we can't rely on Ben Johnson to a degree, because he is at a risk of an injury. But I personally would play Johnson over Fredericks, completely personally. That's my personal opinion. I would do. Baron, hello mate. Said, although I like Ngakia, Johnson is looking good and can compete for right back. Mark says maybe Moyes has a deal in place with Gonzalo Montiel. Well, not from what we're saying, because apparently his agent is saying he's going to the Premier League, but he's not going to West Ham. Chris says maybe getting rid of Jeremy will give room for Ben Johnson and maybe motivate him, possibly. Gio says if Moyes wants him to stay, then the club need to sort it and back their manager in his opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of Moyes, but he needs to be supported. Agreed. All managers do. Gary says, putting over his opinion here. If he's been told that you're fourth or fifth in line to play, would you stay? He can go up the pecking order at a lesser club. I'm not sure about that second part of it, Gary, because at the end of the day, we've only got three options. Zabaleta, Fredericks, and Ben Johnson ahead of him. So yeah, fourth in the pecking order, strictly speaking. But yeah, Chris, will you stop spamming the chat with the same thing? We're talking about topics here, please. Stop. Janoi says, your arms are getting bigger, JP. You need to slow down on the press-ups. Mate, it's the food. It's got nothing to do with the press-ups. Trust me. Look at those guns. All right, mate. Fair enough. But yeah, no, trust me. Then nah. You wouldn't trust me. Believe me, it's the lens. Believe me, it's not that at all in any shape or form. But yeah, no, it is. It's Andy said I can't remember if I put this up or not. It's just a shame at the end of the day, and it is a shame, mate. But people have got all the options in the world, and they've got everybody's got. Yeah, and Andy's nearer the point. Yeah, bingo wings. Thanks, mate. Cheers for that. And Gary, again, please don't spam the chat. We're talking about things. We're going to get round to things we're talking about. Okay, you guys. I know you guys are more than aware of the format. But as I say, it's understandable that the clubs reach an impasse because it happens all the time. I mean, everybody seems to be making out that this is the first time it's ever happened. It hasn't. It happens all the time. And and coming on to this with what was coming straight in after this is, that 4 youngsters have agreed one year contract extension, which normally means they've had a bit of a pay rise, because unless there's something else in the contract that's been. So I haven't really seen anything on it, but for those sort of things. But promising defender Otalunji Akinola signed a new deal. A promising Alfie Lewis midfielder as well. Wide player Emmanuel Longello. I can't remember. I'm not going to go into Gonzo territory here. And striker Sean Adakwa have all signed for. Have all signed contract extensions, and it's good from that side of things, because it looks like, again, that maybe these guys are going to get a run out in the side at some point. I'm hoping. I'm really do hope that they'll be able to crack on and get some bench time, or maybe some appearances in the next 5 to 6 weeks. It'd be interesting to see what happens under those circumstances. But what I was going to originally start off with, is the fact that the channel shop is no more. I've taken down the website now. I've taken down the shop, I should say. The account's still open, but the shops are gone. So there's no more t-shirts anymore. I mean, they weren't selling anyway, so there's no point keeping them up there. Gio says scholarships are set wages for all JP at all clubs. They're likely to be on them contracts. Anyway, very possibly, mate. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, hence Ngaki being on 150 quid a week or whatever it is. Yeah, agreed, mate. I'm not disagreeing with you in any shape or form on that ones. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'm looking. I honestly do want to. I haven't seen any of these 4 players play. But but it'd be nice to see them get into the shop. Maybe they're going to start on Wednesday. Maybe they're going to play in the friendlies on Tuesday, and tomorrow, and was it Saturday or Sunday? You never know. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to see if they will get in there. So it'd be interesting to see if they do get into the sides and go out and have a bit of a runabout. Kent says, not sure Fredericks is good enough, so Jeremy would have been a good cover if he could stay. And now if he doesn't stay, it will cost us more money to buy a right back. Agreed. Exactly, mate. That's the whole point. That's what the point that Jerry was making in his video earlier today about the fact that we're gonna have to buy a right back as a result of it. Now, also, I read today that I'm hoping this is going to stop the rumours, because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing these rumours every single window. It's getting boring, and I really hope this is going to stop now. Ben Foster has signed a 2-year extension with Watford. So he's 37, and his contract rounds out at 39, as it stands at the minute. So I really hope that we see the back end of these rumours, because it's ridiculous, man. It's just, I don't understand. Foster's a very good goalie. We have been linked with him quite a few times, but it never materializes. So it's what I'm saying about all these, why I don't pay attention to rumors a lot of the time, unless they're substantiated by at least 3 sources. Because at the end of the day, Ben Foster, yes, 10 years ago I would have completely taken him, but now we don't need anything else. We do need more goalkeepers, but we need to stop believing all that we're reading on Twitter, especially from that Indie Gala account as well, for that matter. I stopped following him months ago, but he's still doing the rounds. Now, also, it was interesting that looking up on the club website that that we've got the opportunity to submit photographs to the club. So there's a fan collage at the stadium. So apparently Spurs are doing the same thing. So maybe maybe Brady's been is forefront of this. Who knows? And or either she heard it from a Spurs contacts or vice versa or whatever. Anyway, but it's just it's interesting that I've submitted my photo already. I thought it'd be quite funny to get me up on there. And guys, it is literally up on the club website. You just you put in your first name, your last name, and your email address, and you upload your photo. There's a general data protection statement in there will say how they're going to use your data. So it's good from that side of things. I don't care about it because the club have got my details anyway. They got all my contact information, so it's not like I'm any worried about anything on that side of things. But it'd be interesting to see what happens in that case. Will it get ready? Because you've got 2 days to do it. Everything has to be in by Thursday. So if you want to submit your photograph up, they go onto the club website in the next couple of days and go crack up and do it. And talking about the see what else. Hang on, just talk about see whatever else is talking about. Gio says playing. I haven't heard 2 of them. Well, that's the whole point of the friendlies, mate, isn't it? It's trying to see those guys get on the ball and see what they can do. Mark says when I was in Gakia's age, I was on 48 quid a week and I had to pay bus fare out of that. Yeah, I can't even remember how much I was earning when I was 19. I hope it was around about that, but yeah. Nick says, do you know who the friendlies are against? Yeah, we talked about it while you were in the conversation there, Nick. It was QPR and Crystal Palace. Baron says, it's established we need a new right back now, but what else should we prioritise? That's a very, very good point, Baron. I don't know if anybody else has actually gone through it in the chat. Yeah, I can't see anything. But for me, it's a left back, maybe another centre back, 2 strikers, and a box-to-box midfielder. That's what I personally think we need. Chris says, I hate seeing Michy Batshuayi being linked with us. We don't need the type of player, and Forster being linked with us is bull. Yeah, Moy says he wants young players. Exactly. We talked about this yesterday, Chris, about Batshuayi. Gave the 5 reasons why he's not going to come. Is it being broadcast on the internet? No. Again, in the conversation we had when it was announced that you were part of, Chris, it's not being broadcast. It's not being filmed. There's no ball boys at the stadium either, for that matter, which makes complete sense. Because at the end of the day, we need to keep the exposure down to all non-essential personnel. And I know ball boys can be essential, but at the same point, they're not really. I have no problem with a footballer going over and picking the ball up themselves, quite frankly. So all that should be there is the team, the staff, the camera crew, in terms of the pitch, and that's it. Nothing else. There shouldn't be anything else because nothing else is needed. All right, okay, like the referee and the linesman and stuff, but ball boy under the behind closed doors isn't really needed, especially under these health concerns. Kent says Butland has been linked with us a few weeks ago, mate. He's been linked with us for the last 2 to 3 years. I'd go for Dean Henderson big time. Yeah, he's apparently Henderson's getting a new contract from Man United, from what I was reading. Which is a shame, but it's good. I like it. He's a good player, and I'm looking forward to see what happens with him next season. I mean, obviously he's staying on with Sheffield United because he's been there for 2 seasons now. He was involved with them with their promotion push, and now he's obviously in goal for them this time as well, for that matter. So you never know. It's going to be interesting. Where else are we going to? So the league fixtures are up on the website, up on the West Ham website, as we talked about the other day. So we went through all that, and it's the 3rd time we've gone through it now, so I'm not going to go through it again. But they're all there to see. The League 1 and League 2 clubs have now voted to curtail their season, which makes things very, very interesting. The BBC did a really, really good article that went up earlier today. So we will talk about it so basically the options for the League One, because so they're basically saying both tables will be settled on points per game, while promotion, relegation, and the playoffs all remain. Coventry and Rotherham go up from League One, while Wycombe Wanderers replace Peterborough in the playoff places. Swindon are League Two champions, but ongoing disciplinary matters mean it is not yet certain who will drop out of the EFL and into the National League. As things stand at the moment, when it comes to League One, Coventry City and will be crowned champions of League One. Rotherham United are also promoted. In the playoffs, there's going to be Wycombe Wanderers versus Fleetwood Town and Portsmouth versus Oxford United. Dates to be confirmed, of course. And the three teams that are relegated are the Tranmere Rovers, Southend United, and Bolton Wanderers. For League Two, Swindon Town are deemed, as I say, promoted as champions. Crewe Alexandra and Plymouth Argyle are also promoted. The playoffs will be between Cheltenham Town versus Northampton Town and Exeter City versus Colchester United. And Stevenage are relegated out of the Football League. The playoff semi-final first legs for League Two are Colchester versus Exeter on 5:15 on Thursday, the 18th of June, and Northampton versus Cheltenham on the 7:45 on the same day. And the semi-final second legs, Exeter versus Colchester United, 7:50 at the same time, 5:15 on the Monday, and Cheltenham versus Northampton, 8:00 on the same. And then obviously when the finals to be confirmed. So it's good from one point of view that we've all got everything. All the leagues are sorted out now. That League One and League Two are suspended, as I said, and basically just stopped. Championship is going to resume as we all know, and obviously the Premier League comes back in a week tomorrow. As far as West Ham's concerned, it's a week and a half. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see from that point of view. So see what everyone's talking about in the chat here. Chris saying favourite away, home, and third shirt of the last decade, JP. Well, the away my favourite away shirt since 2010 has been this season's. There's not been anything better than that. My favourite home shirt was the first season at the London Stadium. I really liked that one. That was actually technically was my first opening video that I did when we did that. And the third shirt was the Macron SBO bet, where we had the blue and the claret and the blue lining. I quite like that dark, that Thames Ironworks one. Gary says we need to prioritise striker. Agreed. Mark says but the ball boys, it's quite a long walk getting the ball back from behind the goals at the London Stadium. Mate, it's not that long. Come on. saying what's fashionable instead of what's true. Chris says we need fullbacks and maybe another young centre back to be a sub if we're considering selling Fabian. Yeah, Fabian. Who's Fabian? Because it's obviously not going to be Fabianski. We've got yeah. Who's Fabian? Mark says it's a half marathon getting the balls. Ian, hello mate. Said I have visions of everyone uploading their photos to the club and Brady just swiping left to them all. Probably. Gary said Moyes did say that Nolan will ref for the friendlies. Didn't see it. That's fine. That'd be interesting, especially against QPR. That'd be funny. Chris says, Mark, the players get paid $1,000 a week. I would do triple for that kind of money. We all bloody well would, man. And he says, I might be wrong, but isn't there time limit to be on loan at a club? Under normal circumstances, mate, yes, which is why clubs have agreed or not agreed to having players extension loan. For example, with Dean Garner, for example, he extended his loan with West Brom. There was rumours to say that they were going to that Oxford United, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, were going to extend Nathan Holland's contract, extend his loan, but no, the club has decided to bring him back anyway, which is fine. There's loads of other things. Like for example, Adam Lallana has agreed an extension to his contract until the end of the season because because he'll still leave for the free at the end of July. But normally players will be leaving for free, as Gonzo said earlier today on his video. That it's normally till the end of June. Chris says some players are on 50 grand a week. Yeah, absolutely. Lou, hello mate, good to see you. Do you honestly think this board will spend any money in the transfer window if we go down? They're going to have to, mate. They've got to, because we'll lose big players. We'll lose the majority, if not all of the all. Wilshere will go. Anderson will go. Allaire will definitely be gone. Yarmolenko's off. We'll probably lose Fornals. We'll lose Souček because if he goes down, he goes back to Spartak. And then the rest of them, it's here and there maybe, but yeah, definitely. Where are we? So I see you guys are talking about the League 1 and 2 stuff. So Swindon Town, League 2 champions. Baron says Tranmere Rovers are his second team. Chris says Swindon are his second team. Kent says left back Rico Henry striker. Left back Rico Henry, striker Ollie Watkins, centre back Joe Roden for Swansea. All I'd go for. Yeah, not a bad shout, mate. Not a bad shout at all. It was very, very funny reading today that apparently Galatasaray are after Ogbonna. I didn't even read it. I just saw the little article come up and said I'm not even entertaining that. That was unbelievable when I read that. Lou says, do you think we have any chance of staying up? I don't think this team is physically mentally ready. They look physically ready. It's difficult to judge it, mate, considering all we're seeing is the training ground highly edited videos to show the best bits. Granted, but you never know. Fabian Bell, is it Fabian Balbuena? Fair enough. Then yes, he's blatantly going, and he's another one. Sorry, that is going to go if we go down. But sorry, Lou, but yeah, as I said, it's just that's the thing. It's just the fact that we've got no choice. If they have to be physically and mentally ready, a lot more players are coming out saying they're now more relaxed the more training they're doing because they're getting back to normal. So we'll see. I mean, we won't see, but we will see results of the friendlies that come out in the next couple of days, over the next few days, I should say. Raymond Rossiter, hello, mate. I'm good. Hope you are too, mate. Thanks for joining us. Lou says, do you think Moyes' idea of signing championship players is good or bad, mate? It's a double-edged sword. It really, really is a double-edged sword here, mate. Because at the end of the day, yeah, if he signs good players, it's a good idea. If he signs bad players and they perform better, it's a good idea. But if he signs good players and they perform terribly, then it's a bad idea. It's how the results. It's what happens. It's exactly what happens all the time. Raymond, no need to shout on your comments, mate. He said, I think we will lose Rice if we go down. Possibly. He deserted his country for another, so he could desert us. I said it when it happened. But you never know. And Kieran, good morning, mate. Hope you're doing all right. From Brisbane, as the Americans call it, but Brisbane as the rest of the world calls it. Now, guys, we obviously talked about the friendlies. Now, I want you guys to give me who you would put in for your starting 11 for the friendly against QPR tomorrow. I want you to tell me who yours is going to be. This is mine. All right, so let me just bring up put my details up. Honestly, there we go. Right. So this is the lineup that I've gone for. Only one change from the lineup that I did against Arsenal. Literally one change. Got Fabianski in goal, Ben Johnson at right back, Ogbonna and Diop making the centre back pairings with Creswell at left back, Souček and Rice as the defensive midfielders, Bowen out on the right, Antonio out on the left, Fornals in the centre mid with Allaire up front. So as I say, guys, let me know what yours are going to be. But that's basically what I've gone for, the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-2-2-1-1, depending on your points of view, or the 4-5-1, depends on how you calculate them all. But I do think that's going to be quite a strong side to put out, to be honest with you. Kent says David Moyes has a good record of signing young players from lower leagues. Yep, we mentioned that when we were talking about Ngakia, and making into class lads. Forget Hugh Gill, remember Cahill, Stones. Who else was it Jagier? No, it wasn't Jagier. There was obviously apart from the players that I've quoted earlier, but yeah. People have got this. You see, this is the thing that annoys me about being us as football fans in general. Not specifically you, not specifically me. It's the world in general, and it borns out more from a footballing point of view. We'd have personally, as people in general, are massively hypocrites, right? And I mean, so I'm saying people in general, because we're all saying about, all this hoo-ha about Ngakia, blah 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 blah. Can't be comparing it to Reece Oxford, blah 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 blah. Right? Fine, get it. Then why the bloody hell? Ever since we got relegated on 42 points, which has never happened before that time or since, are we all panicking, saying we have to get to the 42 point mark when it was a freak occurrence? And this is what I'm saying about how hypocritical a lot of us can be. It's understandable because it's the panic mark. It's the first thing, but we always say 42 is safe, when in actual fact 36, 37, 39 points are more safer in than that. But yeah, it does. It just makes me laugh. I was thinking about it this morning. When everyone's been banging on about all this, you can't be, because everyone's been criticised for comparing Ngakia to Oxford, blah blah blah. Yeah, everyone's more than happy to accept the fact that security is 42 points when it clearly hasn't been that way for 15, 16 years now. But yes, let's see what you see. Let's have a look to see what you guys are talking about. With my predicted lineup, and he says, "Good shout, mate. Thank you very much. That's much appreciated." Nick says, "Same as yours, but Anderson for Antonio." Fair enough. Kent Hammer says, "Mine's the same as yours, but I'd have Fredericks in and play a 4-3-3 system." Cool. Louis Malon, hello mate, good to see you. Give me your starting 11 for the QPR friendly tomorrow, please, mate, because I'll be interested to see what you say on that. Great show as normal. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. It's been good to see you back. Watch alongs, mate, coming in a week and a half. I know you enjoyed those, so get cracking. Make sure, remember. Ken Hammer says, I think 38 will be enough. That's what I'm worried about, fella. I think we're going to finish on 36, and that's what I'm worried about, but you never know. Mark says, many teams have stayed up less on less than 40 points. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 42 points is never isn't really the shouldn't be the watermark, because it's overly safe, shall we say. But 28, late 20s, early 30s points are normally about what gets you safe, but it just depends on season to season, of course. But Baron says, I like your formation, JP. Thanks, mate. I would have Bowen and Fornals switched, but seeing yours makes more sense. Yeah, Bowen is well known to be played as a second striker, but Fornals can't play out on the wing in the same way that Lanzini can't play out on the wing, which actually nicely brings us round to the player that we touched on a little bit yesterday. Touched on a little bit in yesterday, but a few of you guys have put in in there. Oh yeah, a lot of your formations are coming in now. So let's just have a look. Raymond says same as yours, JP. I put Bowen in. Good shout, mate. Lucas says I think Allaire, Bowen, Fornals, Souček, I'm guessing Rice and Anderson. Yeah, you've missed a few players out there, fella. You've only entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 5 more to put in, please. Mark says Fabianski, Johnson, Diop, Ogboni, Krezes, Bowen, Rice, Souček, Anderson, Lanzini, and Allaire. And Lanzini behind Allaire, I'm guessing. Not a bad shout, mate. I'd like to look at that 2 or 3 years ago. But seriously, no, that's I like that. That's not bad. Kieran says Fabianski, Frederick, Creswell, Ogbonna, Diop, Bowen, Rice, Souček, Anderson, Allaire, and Antonio. Yeah, I realised it was a mistake there, Lou. Jano says yes, good formation. I think it will be a winning side with passion if we can pull one off. Yep. Or pull one out. Either sounds naughty, mate. Either sounds naughty, so that's fine. Mark says let's get Lanzini's form back. Yeah, that's okay. So Eze. So because I said yesterday that 20 million is going to be the stumbling block. Now, under normal circumstances, I would say that isn't a stumbling block. That's a more than reasonable price. But as I also said yesterday, the reason why it's going to be a stumbling block is unless we sell big players, we're not going to have a lot of money. As simple as that. It was interesting reading about Spurs as well for that. That they're predicting a £200 million loss for this season, which is why they took out the £175 million loan, which is understandable because they've got, which is backed by the government. That's right. So technically, I mean, even though with their revamped stadium, it's partly funded by the local council anyway. So technically, Spurs and our stadiums are now taxpayers' stadiums. But now, obviously, now taking that loan out increases the fact that it's a taxpayer stadium because the government are paying for that loan. So therefore, we will be paying for that loan, not you and me specifically, but for the ones that are more than likely within that borough. Under that council will be that's where the taxes will be going. That's where a lot of the, like for example, your council tax and all that sort of stuff. That's where that money is going to be going as well. But as I say, is attacking centre midfielder, can play centre mid and left mid. 37 games, he's scored 12 goals and has got 8 assists out of those. So it's not a bad return, to be honest with you. It's not a bad return under any state or form. It's it's good. I can see why everyone's been umming and ahhing about the fact that the money's going to be stupid. But yeah, it's but I can see it from both points of view. I really can see it from both points of view. I'd say under normal circumstances, I'd say that if 20 million is a stumbling block, then it's fake news. It's the club pissing about as usual. But under this sort of situation, yeah, I can understand it. Sophian's back. Sorry, mate, for being absent recently. Yeah, we have to have words, fella. You got lines. You got lines. Yeah, nice. Says Roberto. Shut up. Zabaleta, Reed, Balbuena, Masuaku, Snodgrass, Wilshere, Noble, Lanzini, Antonio, and hang on a minute. So you got Roberto in goal, Zabaleta at right back, Reed who's out in the States, Balbuena and Ogbonna in the centre as a centre back pairing, Snodgrass, Wilshere, Masuaku at left back, Snodgrass, Wilshere, Noble, Lanzini, Antonio. So you're missing a striker there, mate. Save the best for later in the season. Fair point. Mark says Spurs and financial trouble. You hate to see it. Of course we do. We hate to see any club with complete gits supporters in trouble. Louis says Fabianski in goal, Creswell, Diop, Ogbonna, Fredericks, not bad. Rice, Suchek, Fornals, Boa, Anderson, Allaire, 3 points easy. It's a friendly, mate. There's no points in it, but I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay, so Lou's starting 11 is Fabianski in goal, Johnson, Diop, Ogbon, and Creswell making up the back four. Suchek and Rice as the defensive midfielders. Fornals, Anderson, Bowen, and Allaire as the attacking options. It's good. I like it. It's good. Louis says, looking forward to watching the watch alongs, buddy. Good, me too. I've been, do you know, I can't believe it's been 3 months since I've done them. It's been mental. So I'm gonna have to try and get back in back in the swing of things. I'm gonna do a test run this weekend to make sure everything's set up all right and I can do everything and everything looks okay. As I got a new background for it as well, because the other one, even though I haven't had it long, it's looking a bit manky for some random reason. But maybe because the amount of times I put it up and put it down, put it up and put it down. But yeah, I'm certainly going to be testing it out this weekend. Not with any German football before Nick spikes up, and no, I won't be doing a live stream on those either, for that matter, before he pipes up. But yeah. Janai says Obona can score headers. Yes, he can, but we can't. We need more than that, mate. Sofian says the watch along should be class. Only 8 days to go until the Premier League comes back. Yep, 10 days for West Ham. Well, 13 days, 11 days, I should say, for us. But yeah, agreed. Mark says, do we only watch West Ham on this channel? Yes, it's West Ham in England. If you watch the channel intro video. Sofian's start 11s for him. I'm guessing still for QPR because that's what the topic is. Fabianski in goal, Fredericks, Ogbonna, Diop, and Creswell making up the back four. Suchek, Rice, Fornals, fraud, aka Fornals and Anderson. I'm getting that's what you mean. Allaire and Bowen, yeah. Kent says Moyes on a scouting mission in friendly versus QPR, looking at Eze and Manning. Not a bad shout, fella. Not a bad shout. Yanai says, hey JP, can you watch along with my favourite team here in my country? I support FK, mate. What? Eki Bastutets? Eki Bastut? Yeah. No. They say the reason why I'm only doing watch alongs for the England games and the West Ham games is because I know who the bloody players are. I'm not going to start. I don't watch international football. It just holds no interest in me whatsoever. I've got no emotional vested, nothing, no emotions vested in that action at all, for lack of a better way of putting it. Absolutely not. Mark says he's Northern Irish. He's not going to be watching England. Fair enough. Yeah, no, he says it's a Kazakhstan team. Now, Jack Wilshere. I don't like talking about him, but I had to because the stuff he was saying earlier today, well, I was reading earlier today, I should say, saying that he's watching himself on telly has inspired him, and what's it inspired him to do? That's what I'm worried about. And it was quite funny reading that his name was trended on Twitter in response to TalkSport's most overrated Premier League player question. Their tweet, that was quite funny. That was funny seeing that. Now, a few people are losing their shit. Let's not mix two words about it, because Moyes is apparently, there's some report that's come out that say that Moyes may, and I will stress may, it's not a certainty, it's a possibility, that Wilshere is going to start against Wolves. There's been a lot of fallout about this over the last day or so, which is why I haven't spoken about it. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he does pick him to start. It's not the right move under any circumstances. It's not the right move to do it. Start him from the bench. Simple as that. That's why he's not in my starting 11. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Wilshere makes the starting 11 for the QPR game and the Palace friendlies. But yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised. But as I say, if he's in the starting 11 for Wolves, as Louis says here, wouldn't mind Jack getting a run out tomorrow. I think it means hell of a player when fit. Yeah, he is a hell of a player. And if he goes through the two friendlies completely unscathed and has no problems, plays the 180 minutes, no issues, none whatsoever, starting for Wolves. If he doesn't, he's on the bench for me. Mark says, imagine watching yourself on telly. I appreciate the R in you there, mate. Sofian says, Jack Wilshere probably watched his game against Barcelona 12 years ago on loop 50 times. But I know what he means to a degree, because I do the same thing. Sometimes I watch some of my videos, going back and go, shit, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said this. It's always going to be you're always going to see faults on where you can improve. Always. I don't watch these live streams, but other videos that I do, when I watch them back, I'm mentioning shit. Says when I, like, for example, the preview that I'll be doing for the Wolves game, which, by the way, as I say, will be going up on Patreon first before it goes up on YouTube. So keep an eye out for that next week. Rick, if you're watching, so I haven't heard anything from you over tonight, you and Wally will be able to see the Wolves preview video before anybody else. But it's just where was I going with it? Yeah, I can see where he's coming from, but it's a massively vain way of putting it. Sofian says, I think there are some Arsenal fans who make Jack Wilshere propaganda. Jack does himself. He's trying to bring the fan base on side, because I know how much he's annoyed us all. Marx is probably sitting there with a cigarette and a beer, watching himself. Yeah, I thought you meant tomorrow, mate. Yeah. Sofian says, is there any confirmation of the date of the friendlies, and is it going to be streamed? Yes and no. Both games are on Wednesday, tomorrow against QPR, and Saturday, if I remember correctly, against Crystal Palace. Not being filmed. Doesn't need to be broadcast because it's friendly, and there's no, from a monetary point of view, it doesn't need to be broadcast, and that's why there's no camera crew there. But Arsenal's friendly was filmed, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if there is some form of recording going on for that game, but it's not being broadcast. Louis agrees with me about him. I'm guessing about him playing the full friendlies. JJ says, no, John, no Wilshere. No, it's not. Drop the T. We need a strong side, especially in the first 3 games. Agreed, mate. But as I say, that would be the only reason why I would say bring Wilshere into the starting 11 is if he completes 180 minutes, start to finish, no issues. If he doesn't, then not. But he's on the bench for me either way. Andy says, watching yourself on television gives him motivation, but 100 grand a week doesn't. Very good point. Very good point. Baron says, Andy, some people are motivated by ego. Yeah. And Sofian says that's the modern game, Andy. 100%. Louis says, you never know, JP. The county of Wiltshire might save us. Might really turn it on. He's a fantastic player if fit. He is, mate, but every player is a fantastic player if they're fit. But I know what you mean. Rick says, to be honest, we need to sell Jack and let him go to a lower club, in his opinion. Can't disagree with you. Andy says, only a month, Mark. That me in a day. Okay, so we've got a new viewer here. Cal Westeros, man. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Who wins the English Premier League next season? I've got a funny feeling it's going to be City, because they're not going to be happy with the way things have gone this season. But nice to see you, mate. Now, last subject I want to talk about, because we've got 10 minutes to go. there's been a lot of talk about a player that I really, really rate at Chelsea. He's not had the best of seasons this season, but apparently he hasn't. Apparently he's not having much joy with his Chelsea he's had his contract withdrawn. So personally, I want to see what you guys say as well. But personally, I wouldn't mind having Tammy Abrahams on the side. I really wouldn't mind him coming in next season. I would think that would be very good. It suits Moyes' template almost to the T. He's strong. He's physical. He's pretty quick. I can't say he's fast, but he's pretty quick. He's young. He's hungry. That's the striker. That's the striker we need. Sofian says, sell Jack and sell him to a physio company that keep them busy. Mark, good point. Sanchez is not a fantastic player, even if fit. Sofian thinks that Man United will win the season next season. Janoy says, I think it could go either way, to be honest. You know what they say, JP, a broken clock is right twice a day, but a watch kettle never boils. Getting your dad quotes in there. Nick says he thinks we should keep Wilshere. Again, explain why, please. Callum says, City can't do it, though. Transfer ban, everyone will leave. Well, it depends on what happens with the arbitration. Depends what happens, mate. You know, that it's going to an independent adjudicator because of things. I've been, we've all been I'm sure we've all been reading about it. But yeah, it would be good if City could have it overruled. I predicted Liverpool would. You go back and watch the review of the fixtures when they came out when I did the preview with Baz and AJ, and I said that Liverpool are winning the title. I said it a year ago, 11 months ago in that sign for that sort of thing. For that matter, I should say 11 months ago, I said that Liverpool were going to win the title because I guaranteed. I said the reason I've said it numerous times on this channel. The reason why Liverpool were pushing for the title was because they came not only because they came so close to it last season, but the fact that they won the Champions League. And I guarantee Klopp went into the changing room and went, right, we've won the Champions League. Let's win the Premier League. I guarantee that was the conversation once he stopped drinking. Mark says Barkley. Not for me, not anymore, mate. Unfortunately, great player. Not saying he isn't. A few seasons ago, definitely. I know there's talk about Barkley being swapped for Rice, but it's just that it's talk. Nick says Tammy and Allaire. Sofian says Tammy Abraham is too good for us, and is at a title challenging Chelsea. Yeah, but if he. But I wouldn't say no, mate. Mark says Abraham is a class act. Yeah, he is. He's the other player. Remember when I was asked who my favourite non-league player was, non-Premier, non-West Ham player was, and I said that it was Demarai Gray because I had to think about it. It was in between Tammy Abrahams and Demarai Gray, and I really enjoy watching those two. Lou says great shout, West Ham type of player. He is. Sophie said I said Liverpool will win the league too. To be fair. Nick says, do you think Declan would stay longer if we signed Mount? Probably, yeah. But I'm just getting sick and tired of people talking about Rice's future. Nobody knows except him and the club. So anything in the papers is bullshit. I said it many times. There's so much crap going in the papers. It's unbelievable. Kieran says Pulisic is the boy I like from Chelsea, but Abrahams would fit in. Cal, can you please engage with what we're talking about? Champions League prospects next season. Mostly that anyone that makes it through the rounds. Sophie says, I mean, why would you come? Well, why not? Let's look at it, right? Chelsea are if he's not happy with Chelsea, and he's not a money-hungry little sod that like a lot of the players are. West Ham's the perfect fit for him. It really, really is the perfect fit for him. Because he would walk straight into the first team, no problems. Would he walk into the first team at Arsenal? Doubt it. Would he walk into the first team at Spurs? Doubt it. Would he walk into the he would the only other places he would walk into are places like Newcastle, etc., etc. He would be the centre of attention there, and that's exactly what Tammy wants. It's clear that from the way that he celebrates, that's what he wants. Mark says, "I'd take anyone from Chelsea's midfield." Agreed, mate. That they are boss. It's a boss team, like. Lucas says, Allaire, Abrahams, and Bowen behind him. What a front three! Great threat from all three players. Agreed. They can all work with each other very, very well. It's a no-brainer. Reality never going to happen, but it's a no. It's the thing. The right thinking's right. Louis says Rice is the next captain going nowhere. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Loves the club, or I want to believe that anyway. Well, everybody does. He gets it. He understands it. Oh, sorry guys, the camera went a bit mental then. Hang on. Oh, don't do this, not now. There you go. Let's bring this back. Get it back. Yeah, there we go. Moves. But yeah, no, he gets it. He understands. As I said, he's a suburbanite because he's technically from my background. I say technically because I've explained the reasons why I've gone through that many times before. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. It's interesting from it. But yeah, I hope he will stay. I think while Nolan and Noble are around, I think they will be the clinchers to keep him. I really, really think it will be. And obviously Fredericks as well, for that matter, because we know how good friends they are. By the way, if you don't think he wouldn't want to be second to Werner next season, he doesn't have to. Werner plays on the left wing sometimes too. Agreed. I said Werner and Abrahams the other day. I said that those two would be a lethal combination for Chelsea, which is why I want Abrahams to come to us. Sophie says they could play Tammy up top, Werner on the left, and Pulisic on the right wings. Yeah, agreed. I think Tammy would sit in better for us. He'd have more game time. It'd be more. But you never know. You never know. I mean, that's my opinion on it. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the camera there. It was a bit strange, but yeah. So, guys, I've got a question for you before we wrap this up. The last one, because I've taken the shop down. Would you guys be interested in caps, hats, with the channel logo here? So you've got a baseball cap, sun hat, beanie, etc., etc. Let me know your thoughts on this, guys. Because I've been thinking about, because there's a website I found earlier today that can create embossed baseball caps, beanies, sun hats. Exactly. Yeah, Rick, I knew you jumped straight on that. Yeah. Because everybody sells t-shirts. To be fair, everybody sells scarves. Not that there's anything wrong with that in any shape or form. But I've been legitimately thinking about it. Really, I've been thinking about it. Because as you guys know, I like to do things a little bit differently. Sophie says, yeah, you should do, in my opinion, but it depends on the price. It's a US company that I found. I haven't found one in the UK that does the style that I'm going for. But yeah, if I remember correctly, I saw them around about $20. So that's what, 18, 17, 16, 17 quid. Mark says, I'm too old for hats. You're not too bald for it though, mate. Louis says, why not? Sophian says, but if I'm honest, I would buy a t-shirt saying JPWG TV. Not really. Mark says, any slippers, mate? That don't show your age. we're not going to be doing any we're not going to be doing any lounge pants or any pipes either, for that matter. Lou says, interested in the beanie hat, if not too expensive, mate. Well, I'll put some details together and I'll have a look. And I'll do some exclusives before the for you guys tomorrow evening in the stream. And so I'll put the designs up, and you'll see what you think. That it was quite funny actually, because the company randomly sells panties and thongs as well, for that matter. But yeah, it'd be funny. But yeah, I'll literally go through the designs with you guys tomorrow and see what you say. Sophie says, no offense, mate, I wouldn't. I would rather wear unofficial West Ham stuff. Fine. It's a democracy here. Mike says, Mike Williams, hello, mate. There's a new face round here by the looks of it. Please do consider subscribing if you've enjoyed this. Pint glass would be good. I'll see what I can do. Sophie says, I'm 15. Is anyone interested? Mate, you've said that many times on this channel. Mark says he's 15 stone. Louis says, how about your frosted mugs like you have in the watch alongs? Mate, I bought that from Amazon. You can't get them anywhere now. That was literally the last lot of them. That's about 7 or 8 years ago that frosted mug came out. If I find a company that could make them at a decent price, then 100%. But guys, we'll wrap it up there. As I say, because I took the channel shop down because there's nobody was buying the t-shirts. Quite frankly, in the description, the link it's been in the description for about 8 months, and the only person that was really buying anything was me to promote the stuff. So, but yeah, guys, thanks very much for watching. It's been really enjoyable chatting with you guys tonight. It's nice to see Louis back. It's nice to see new faces with Mike. It's nice to have Lucas back as well. It was nice to have where is he? Cal Westeros as well. Nice to see you as well. And not of course, I know everybody else. Yanai, Sofian, Kent, you guys back the Baron. You know, it's always good to have you guys with us along as well. And Raymond, nice to see you. Raymond Rossiter, it was good to have him back. Chris, of course, as well, for that matter. Gary, Ian, always brilliant to have you guys. And Rick, of course, the Patreon, fantastic. Mark says, did you have polo shirts in there? Yes, I did, but they were just printed on. They weren't stitched. So it was the quality wasn't all that good, if I'm completely honest. That's one of the other reasons why I took it down. Louis says he'd buy the frosted mug, but you never know. But anyway, guys, thanks very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to chat to yourselves, and it's been great. You guys have made this last 45 evenings go really quickly. It's just we've hit an hour now. We've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. We've talked about I've answered your questions. You're answering each other's questions. We're being social. We're making social media social again. I'm getting into Trump territory. Let's make social media social again. But in all seriousness now, guys, thanks very much for your time. It's been brilliant to chat to you, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. All the best now. Take care.